Bada boom! Hey, boys and girls, guess what? I'm back. It's been a while. I know it's been like a month since the last video. Sorry for actually not sorry. I am sorry for not being here, but I do appreciate the loyalty. I've got a couple fans who have been sitting here, and they're already like Julius sent this at 4:44 today, and the show starts at 6, and he's like, "Is it 6 p.m. yet?" And then Nick chimes in. Said that I was just teasing him, but anyway, yeah, we are here. Yes, Julia says yes. Was at the Ren Fair? Yes, I was. It was 5 weekends of that. I squeezed in one show with Brian like I said, 4 weeks ago, pretty much. That was the last time I actually did a live show, and I haven't really done anything to this model. I almost considered scrapping the rest of it and just getting onto a new project, because I was feeling a little bit of burnout too, and I thought it was just that with all the being busy and everything, I was just like, gosh, can I really keep going on this? But now that I'm good. I'm glad I'm back, and I'm glad you guys are here. Fuzzy's in. Hey, bro, how are you, sir? Or kitty, space kitty? I don't know. Am I talking to a girl or a guy? I don't know. Could be either or. Fuzzy Space Kitty could be either or. Sorry if I got that completely wrong. But anyway, we are live. And we're still working on the M61A5, the main battle tank diorama. Still doing Zaku headwork. And I'll go down to the bench here in a second. What's this? Don't scrape it. It was great. Don't scrap it. Yeah, no, I'm not going to. I wasn't going to scrap it. What I meant was really probably just shelf it and go on to something new. I wasn't going to scrap it necessarily. You're a guy. Okay, sorry. Space Kitty's a guy. We got that clear. I actually wasn't. Like I said, Julius, I wasn't going to scrap it. It was mostly just the idea of just starting something new, kind of get a refresher going, because I was experiencing a little bit of burnout and then with being so busy, and then last week I had family in town. I was going to do a show, and then I canceled at the last minute. So no big deals there. We're all last time I checked. Yeah. Well, good to see. So I'm going to go down to the bench here, and you guys are going to see pretty much the same thing it was last time. Just doing some damage work to the head here. I'm going to move these out of the way. But one thing that stuck with me, one thing I've been thinking about while I was away, and that is, let me go down to close up here, is entrances and exits. With any kind of damage like this, typically entrance wounds or entrance damage is about the same size as the projectile, right? But the exit is much, much larger. So having thought about that, I think what I want to do is expand this exit hole here and even create some secondary damage coming through the armor. So I'm going to probably tonight, and I'm going to use a Dremel. It might make some noise, but I'm going to use a Dremel. But I want to extend this hole kind of down this way a little bit, making it much, much larger. Then I can peel some of this excess away as I get there. But then I also want to maybe create a secondary hole somewhere out here where another piece has shattered off and blown through the armor as well. So creating kind of two separate exits as things went in through the eye here and then out through the top. I want to create two separate holes there. I think that might look even better. So again, haven't done much. Really just haven't even sat at the bench. I've been dealing with the fair, and all that's done and everything's put away and gone. And then, like I said, family came in. I had my aunt in here last week, and so we spent a week with her and just kind of hung out. And she's on her way back to California tonight. She'll probably be back home by about 8 o'clock tonight. So anyway. Thanks for sticking by, guys. I really do appreciate. Thanks, Nick. I see that. It says, nice to see you again. Yes, nice to see you guys, too. I really appreciate the loyalty with everybody that has hung around and waited patiently for me to get back on here. Giovanni's in. How you doing, Giovanni? Just tear the edges a bit more and enlarge. Let me put this on the screen here so we can see. Enlarge it. Put a couple of smaller shrapnel holes around it. That's what I was talking about. Was at least one kind of extending, making this larger down at this area, because I'm looking at the angle of where this came out at, and I think I don't want to go in this direction. I want to go out the side more. So what I'll probably do is drill away, trim away the plastic underneath to thin it out, and that way I can peel it back, and then the secondary hole somewhere around in this location. So yeah, close by, but it makes sense to have something kind of blowing out, and that's what I want to try to achieve. So anyway, yeah, we'll get going here. Let me just keep your comments coming if you want. Ask questions, talk amongst yourselves, whatever. I will try to keep an eye on the comment section so I can place them on screen. There's a couple new features with StreamYard, and I'm not sure. I'm going to click on this switch here, see what happens. It says show comments on stage, and it kind of lit up this little box in the corner. So my name's over lower left corner, but then in the lower right here is a comment box. I'm not sure what's going to happen if somebody. I'm going to try that and see what happens. Otherwise, I can just manually put them on screen as need be. For the time being, I'm going to make a little bit of noise here, so rather than turn my mic off, if it gets too noisy, just let me know and I will turn it off. But I'm going to start flipping this over. You can see this is where I've all trimmed away, and there's quite a bit of plastic that I actually had to drill back to get this thin enough to actually peel. So, but I want to extend that line. In fact, I'll draw it on the inside here so we can kind of see what's going on. So I want to extend this hole kind of down here like this in this area. Something like that. So it'll expand this and make it even larger on this side. So we'll see that somewhere around this area here. So I'm going to keep this around 2 on the thermal here, so it's not too terribly loud. Oh gosh, I get some noise. Let me know if that's too loud, boys and girls. Julius says like, subscribe, we got our money works, and tell your friends join. Thank you so much, Julius. I appreciate the support. All right, I'm just going to start cleaning this out, taking some material away. Going to make a mess for sure. A lot of plastic going around. As he says, don't go too thin. You lose the heavy armor look. I'm only going thin enough that I can peel it back. So it has that kind of a natural blown out look. That's what I'm trying to achieve. I'm only taking off enough plastic so where I can actually peel it. If I don't want it to actually break off, I want to be able to look like something has blown it out. But I see what you're saying. I'm not making it too thin. But paint and weathering will also add to that and help out with those little details later on. But I've got to remove enough that I can bend the plastic and manipulate it to what my liking is going to be. I think if I accidentally punch through, that's okay too, because I will have a couple of those little additional exits. In fact, I almost had one just there. Got pretty thin real quick. Whoop, there it goes. And I can either get rid of that altogether or use it as one of those secondary holes. Took a few tries to get battle damage on one with the aircraft. Yeah, I could see that being an issue. Especially with that smaller scale, bullet holes and things like that, it's going to be challenging to get right. I'm going to lose a little bit here. I can see it getting ready to, but I can start peeling it back a little bit at a time. In the meantime, I'm making a mess. It's getting everywhere, but that's going to happen during this. So I'm going to just kind of use one of my sanding sponges here to kind of collect most of this plastic. That way I can just kind of get rid of it all at once. Got a little vacuum, but that will that'll come later. Now, all right, so now what I can do, you see that little second hole kind of blew out there, but I'm going to do that again, but it'll be somewhere in the back here. I just want to see if I can peel this back. Making this, I'm going to make the hole larger for sure. There we go. And I can trim this down too. There you go. It's starting to look nicer. Like I said, I can trim off a little bit here, but just by making this a little bit larger. What I might do is take one of my brushes here. I'm just going to brush out this excess plastic. It's getting all over me. I'm going to be covered in this stuff tonight. The Proxxon motor tool or the flexi shaft. Let's see here. Let me put this on screen. The Proxxon motor tool or the flexi shaft for the Dremel. Give you more fine control over how much you remove and how thin you go. Again, without the tool grabbing the plastic. Well, that's good to know. That's awesome. Good to know. I mean, you can always depend on one thing with Fuzzy. He's always got great information as far as tools and supplies and things. So I kind of like the way that is looking. I'm going to thin this out a little bit more down here. So I want to be able to peel that corner back just a bit more. It's looking better. Only because I have made lots of mistakes. Yeah, no. If you're not making mistakes, then you're not trying new things. I mean, that's the way I look at it. Push yourself to try new techniques and try new things. But also, you also get experience on how to fix a mistake. So I kind of like the way this is looking. I may trim away a little bit of this bigger piece here, but I might not. I'm going to see how it kind of goes as I get a little bit deeper here. I'm just trying to peel this back, make it look like. I think this looks more like an exit hole, quite a bit better than just a round circle what I had before. Yeah, I think we're on the right path to make it look a little bit more realistic. So let's see what this looks like on here. And of course, I am going to have to do some more damage to the frame underneath all this, because now you're going to be able to see quite a bit more inside there. So I will take quite a bit larger chunk of that out. And then, of course, again, paint and weathering will help make that come alive and look like it's effectively real damage. So I think that looks way better with the exit over here, entrance over here. Let's see if I can get like I'll use one of my little stir sticks here. So we go in at this angle, kind of up and back. Oh, I'm actually going through the hole. Wow, that actually stuck in right where I was. Almost drew a path straight out that hole. It's almost perfect. So now I'm gonna have to go in and take quite a bit of that material out from the inner frame there. Gosh, and then I might actually be able to poke this completely through. Yeah, that would be crazy. It would almost be like a forensic, those guys that show entrance angles and exit angles and things like that on for projectiles. See if we get it exactly right. Let's see. Fuzzy says maybe cut a few wires around the whole inner part. That's a good idea. Yeah. This is evolving. As time goes on, we're just evolving this, and those are all great ideas. And I have no shortage of extra wire and things. I've got a lot of these springs that I grabbed these from being in the automotive industry. These are inner springs that for seals and things like that. I peel them out and they act really well as cables and stuff like that, small cables, or I can just use actual just wire. Like I think that's what he's talking about. But I'll put that on the screen for a second. But yeah. After I can take more of that material out, you can have some more kind of hanging out. It'll almost look like, like brain matter. After all, this is a headshot, so it's going to look like that kind of stuff coming out. So I think my secondary hole, if I'm thinking about it right, I think I'm going to go somewhere around this area right here. Oh, did I miss one? Cut that off. There we go. Ex-car painter, huh? Nice. Car panel beater. 60% of a mechanic. Oh, I thought you were a car painter. Oh, yeah, you said ex-car painter and panel beater. Okay, so both. So you did body work. Nice to know. We're both kind of in the same industry. But anyway, I think what I'm going to do is mark this with a dot. Let's see, let me grab I guess I got my big Sharpie here. So I think I'll do my secondary hole somewhere back here because I've got to drill it down, but I also want to make sure I got enough space between the two so there's some separation there, but it'll look like a secondary shrapnel exit. So now that I have this off, I can kind of eyeball it from the other side and mark my dot or spot from the inside. So somewhere it's right about here. So right about there. And then I'll just kind of do the same thing. I'll thin this plastic out, but it's going to be a much smaller hole. So I need to make sure that I get it nice and thin. I can drill a pilot. I'll do a small pilot hole here. And then I'll go around it with the Dremel. And that will, then I can thin it out and just kind of peel it back a little bit, just to kind of give it a little extra. Julia says, are you in Australia? Fish forever. I like fishes. Good to know. How you doing, Fish? I think this is the first time you've come in, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, please correct me. I've been away for a bit with other commitments and things, so just trying to get back on the bench here and get back to work. Trying to get back in the groove. It's been a while. Good to have you. Thanks so much for joining. And, if this is your first time, you feel like sharing a little bit about yourself, where you're from, whatever you want. If not, that's okay too. Just over the pond in New Zealand. Oh yeah, that's right. That's awesome. So I'm going to thin this out again around this other hole. It's going to take a little bit of patience because I got to go a little bit slower. I just want to make sure I take down all this plastic at a very low rate, so then I can stick my pliers in there and peel it back. I can kind of see from the other side. I can use the light from the. I can see the light coming through, and then I know I'm getting thin enough. It's amazing how once you get to a certain thickness, you can see through it. It almost makes it opaque. It takes a little bit of practice, but just as long as I don't take too much off. Sorry guys, I'm trying to keep an eye on the chat, but I'm also focused on what I'm doing here. So please be patient. I'll get to the comments in a sec. Not quite, almost there. Plastic is pretty thick, so it takes a little bit of time to get down there. And again, I'm going slow. As soon as I can start seeing through it, then I know I got it. Anyway. There we go. I think I'm starting to see it. Oh, it's under my dot. That's why. My original mark. It's almost right under it. All right. What was this? Giovanni says, when the live stream was canceled last week, I heard. What did you say? I think I heard the screams of Anakin. I know, right? I had planned on it. I knew my family was going to be in town, and I was like, they won't mind, I'll do this show. But it just didn't work out. I got right up to the day of, I think, and then it just came down to it was like, I can't do it. Spend time with family. I don't see these people that often, so it's important to spend time with your family, especially the ones that are older than you and getting up there in the years, because you want to make sure you spend every moment you can with them. Because you know what, the next day they might be gone, and that's what happened with my parents. One day they're there, and the next day they're gone. So you gotta spend those times when you absolutely can. So I gotta thin this out a little more. I'm starting to peel this open, and Fuzzy says, "Wait, I got two things for Fuzzy here. I want to read the first one first. It says, put your phone on the bench with the torch on it facing you as you do the thinning. I got. You're talking about the light. No, I can see pretty good. I appreciate the idea though, but and he says I cried a little when the stream was canceled. Yeah, I cried a little too. Family is very important, especially as we get older. I know, and I'm not getting any younger either. I am definitely feeling it. I've been in the industry that I'm in for over 30 years, and I'm not sure how much further my body's going to let me do it, but we'll see. All right. Keep plugging away here. I'm going to thin this out a little more, just so I can peel this back. man, does this make a mess though? It's everywhere. It's the cost of. Oops. There we go. It's the cost of doing business, I guess. Sometimes in this hobby, sometimes you got to make a mess. There we go. I'm just reaching in with these pliers, and I'm kind of peeling this back. And what it does is it kind of makes a nice rough kind of cut opening, allowing me to peel the plastic back in kind of a random fashion, so it looks like an effective exit. So there we go. I think I'm going to leave that shallow. Just like that, I got a bigger one. Yeah, the bigger hole here, a secondary hole behind it. I think that looks pretty good. Now I can start peeling away some of this material on the frame. So let's look again what this looks like on the model. It should line up. Okay, so yeah, got a little bit more work to do. What does Julia say here? Sorry, oh, M17. How you doing? My wife's in the stream. How's it going, babe? Okay, so it says Julia says true about spending time with family. Years ago, while I was living in the U.S., my mom was in Australia. I talked to her the night before she passed. Oh, I'm thankful for that. And she said more. Yeah, it's easy to go back and and have regrets about this stuff. That's why when my parents were getting older and starting to get to the point where we knew they were kind of on their way out, it was like, I was telling everybody, hug your family and call them up, talk to them, because you just don't know. One day you get a phone call, and that's what happened with my grandmother. She was going to be moving to some kind of an assisted living facility, and I said, oh, I'll wait and I'll talk to her when she gets all settled in. And I never made that phone call. And then I get a call that she had actually passed away. So I was just like, I will never let that happen again. So far, I have not. So Fuzzy says, looking good. Thank you, sir. Yeah, I think we're on the right track here. So I'm going to start drilling away some more of this material for the frame here. And then we'll see if I can actually take my stir stick and draw a straight line through this hole. I've also got to do a little bit more damage here on the back, even though you're not going to be able to see too much through this second hole. But I think that secondary exit is a great addition to that. I think it's a good detail for this kind of damage. And you just never know. With the projectile going through like that, it's going to be unpredictable. There's lots of things going on, lots of damage internally that you won't see. So as I peel that back, I like the way this looks. These pieces are just starting to kind of fall away a little bit. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. So with this on, I'm going to take this off for a second here. I'm just going to kind of mark a few of the little areas where I need to take away. As this sits on here, and kind of see how far down I got to go. I'm going to use the big marker. This thing's just too thin. It dries out too quickly. So as we go down here, I can put this back on for reference. So yeah, I'm going to take out quite a bit of material here, but kind of see how this is working. There we go. And the back one is about right about here. Yeah, there we go. And taking Fuzzy's advice, after I make this hole quite a bit larger, there's going to be a fairly decent void there. So I think adding some cables or something like that might actually do quite well. Night Shift. Oh, Night Shift YouTube channel as one of the battle damage. Oh, one of the best, or what? What is he saying here? Sorry, I'm going to put this on screen before it gets blown away. Has one, if not the best, video on battle damage of heavy armor. Nice. I'm going to have to check that out for sure. Thank you, dear. This is the channel you're looking for. Like, subscribe. Yeah, I lost a few. I was going to say on that note about subscribers and something like that, I see why it's important to keep doing this, because I lost a few. I gained a couple in the time we were off, but I did lose a couple people from a couple subscribers just because, once you go away for a little bit, people start losing interest, and I don't want that for sure. I want to keep everybody interested in what I'm doing. Also, a lot of good videos on Army test range targets with lots of different types of damage. That sounds cool. That sounds really cool. All right, I'm going to start making another mess here. So I'm going to leave the outer armor aside for a second while I start taking I'm going to do one more check on this second hole. But I'm going to start taking more of this material away. Looks like I got it. Yeah, pretty close. Close enough. All right. I think I've got him. I think I've subscribed to his channel. The Night Shift one. I think I did that last time we talked. I have to double check. All right. Time to make some more noise. I'm using a small bit too. I mean, I could probably put a larger bit on here and just really remove a lot of material, but I kind of like the idea of being able to control how much I take off and how, it takes a little longer, but at least I'm not throwing giant pieces of plastic out. I mean, I want to be able to control how much I'm removing. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay still. I know I'm making a bunch of noise with this, and I think last time I used the Dremel, everybody said they could kind of hear me okay. Just want to make sure that you guys can. If not, if I'm making too much noise with the Dremel, I'll just mute the microphone. I don't like shorts, they will keep the channel. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that's something I haven't done with YouTube Shorts, because I do work a full-time job. I do have a family and stuff like that too. So it's hard to sit down and just crank out videos all day long. But I think that's a great idea. It's something I'm going to have to get used to trying to do. Still hear you okay-ish mostly? Okay-ish? Well, that's good. The microphone that I have will dumb down some of the external noises. So that's good news. I just want to make sure that people can at least still hear me while I'm chewing apart plastic. So that piece is coming right off. There's lots of pieces coming out of here. What was that from? Oh, I know what that was from. Yeah, as I was drilling away, this top piece started to lift off. A lot of chunks in there. Let's see if I can get that. Ooh, the eyeball moved over. No, you need to go over there. Go to the other side. That's funny. While I was doing that, the vibrations must have moved the eye over to the other side. It's kind of in my way now. Get it. There we go. Get it to move out of the way. All right, let's see if I can. Almost. I got to drill through quite a bit more material here. I'm going to take off this side piece and probably pull the glass here just to get that out of the way. Get this off and I'll break it. Come on. There we go. I'm going to have to spend an hour just cleaning all this plastic up. All right. Still a big hole there. I've got to take apart more of the lens. Or behind the lens, I should say. We're kind of inside here. So I'm going to use the Dremel going both sides here. Also, community posts on the channel. Just a couple of detail photos each week will help keep the algorithm happy. Detail photos. Something I'm not even sure. Community. So it's in the community post. I don't even know. I'm not even sure I understand what that is. It shows you how much of a rookie I am at this. But I appreciate the input for sure. I'll look into it. Yeah, there's a lot of pieces everywhere. I'm gonna do some cleanup here. Trying to work on a cleanish bench, but so much of this plastic just gets everywhere. What a mess. It's all good. At least I'm not working with resin, right? That'd be even worse. Then you have all that resin dust everywhere. Ken, what's up, Ken? Ken's in the house. How you doing, Ken? Good to see you, as always, my friend. It's one of my coworkers. How you doing, bud? All right, I'm going to turn on the Dremel again. It's going to get loud. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's getting nice and angry in there. I can't even see what I'm just digging in at. It's just, I'm just taking pieces out. That's all I need. A big old hole right on it. At least with a small bit, I can get in there kind of deep and pick out quite a bit. Yeah. Good piece that wants to come out. Oh, there we go. I can almost see through there. Yeah, there we go. Whoa! Got stuck in there for a second. I'm sure everybody heard that. My the eyeball was coming over here again and getting in the way. And then so the Dremel almost took it out. Got stuck in there. What are you saying here? You are a very skilled builder. In your channel should have much better numbers than it is. Fortunately, YouTube is difficult to master. Yeah, well, it's also a niche. I mean, this kind of scale model, a lot of people don't like to sit down and watch an hour and a half at a time. And so I think that's why, you guys have been all telling me too. It's like the shorts is where it is. You got to do some video shorts and things like that. Just little 30-second snippets and things that people can continue to watch. It also helps that algorithm out. Does it feel good to drill into the head like that? It looks like you're enjoying it. Yeah, it does, actually. especially because I'm just getting it's just getting bigger and bigger, and that's what I wanted. So now I'm going to try this again here. I got this little stir stick. I can actually see if it'll come out the other side here. Oh, it's so close. A little bit more. So close. I'm going to pull a Grissom here from the old CSI here in a second. Let me take out a little more material here. I'll show you what I'm talking about. See if I can get it. Oh, so close. When does it want to come out the other side? Let's see if it goes in this way. Oh, I see. It's just barely there. Okay. Now I can see why it's the angle is just a little bit. Okay, I can see the other side, so I'm trying to see if I can get this to come out. Yeah, there it goes. There we go. Look at that. So now I've got an entrance and an exit. Straight through. A bit snug, but it still fits nonetheless. I'm going to take out a little bit more. Actually, I got to make this side bigger. This is enough in here. Kind of got into that a little bit. Let me make sure that's going to be hidden by the glass. Yeah, so, okay, that's okay. I had a little blemish from me jamming the Dremel in there, but right about on this edge, but it'll be hidden by the glass that's remaining in the frame around it, so that won't be seen. So we're good. Where are we at? 6:45 almost. We got about another 45 minutes. So I'm just going to keep opening up this now. Now that I have a nice clear path through here. So even, let's see if I can get it with the glass on. Let me put this back on. Let's see if that, yeah, I can still get it, I believe. Yep. Yeah, there we go. So now you can see the angle through the glass all the way through the other side. So now I just have to take out a little bit on the top here, but the majority of it will be on the bottom on the other side there. I like it. Yeah, drop the stick. Drop my stir stick. 1 second. Ugh. Got it. And about a year ago, about a year ago, maybe, I can't remember. It was a year or a year and a half. I put wood floors in my hobby room here, thinking it would be, and it is nicer. It is better than carpet. But I was like, oh, it'll be easier to find parts that fall on the ground. Well, in some cases, yeah. But sometimes it's not. Sometimes the stuff goes sliding under the baseboard and then it's gone forever. It happened the first week after I put these boards in. Had a little part shoot off and shoot, underneath, gone. Perfect trajectory. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Goes right through that hole, right through this big hole on the side of the glass. And then, of course, but some of this is going to be painted. There's a frame that goes around this bottom edge, a little bit on the top, but mostly on the bottom. So that will be framed out. That will also cover up any blemishes I have around here. But this is also going to be loaded up pretty heavily with pigment, probably for it to make it look like that that afterburn, from armor, a piece of armor, something getting, especially like an incendiary kind of round. There's going to be some scorching score marks and things like that. So I'm just going to keep digging away here. The infamous carpet monster, yeah, that eats on plastic parts. Yeah, And I had carpet in here for a couple of years, in this house. And then I knew I wanted to put wood floors in, so I put this really nice hybrid laminate in. Great stuff. But again, it's slightly, obviously lower than the original baseboards. So there's a gap there. It allows for expansion, things like that. But it also lets little tiny parts go flying underneath and never come back. And there's no way you're getting them out. It's like you can either pull the baseboards, and I just manufactured a new one. I just scratch built a small piece. It was on the when I was doing the what build was it? It was the Metal Gear Rex. That's what it was. I had to scratch build a small little part to replace it. It was fairly easy to scratch build. It was just a square end cap, really, on like a part of the main cannon. And it was I had another one I still had one left that I could compare and actually use as a guide to make the new one. But yeah, it was still like I saw it go under and I thought, well, that's never coming back. Never found it again. All right, more damage coming in. This is lifting off in here. I gotta hold it down. This top piece wants to keep lifting from the vibration. Nothing is glued together, so I can take it back apart. I gotta cut some plastic off of this. Sometimes it gets too hot, and it plastic melts around the actual bit. Just creates like a smooth. The bit's no longer cutting anymore. It's just melted plastic. So occasionally I got to go in and trim it off. If I get too aggressive with it, it'll do that. The time capsule of model parts, right? Chunk on there. The nice part about this is I'm not worried about perfection because this is just straight up damage from a round kind of ripping through this. So the chunkier it is, the better, because it's only going to look that much cooler through that hole. I'm going to put these just to do another test here. I'm going to pop these side covers back on. And actually, let me put the glass on too. The glass actually helps support the side pieces. So they fit properly. If you don't have these on, they kind of sink in at the wrong angle because there's nothing to support them, hold them back. So the glass kind of helps. You can see that if you didn't have that, like right alongside the visor here, it holds that side piece from going further in. And I noticed that when I was kind of doing the snap assembly on it, I was trying to get these side pieces to fit properly, and I didn't have the glass in there, and that's the reason why it wasn't fitting right. So let's just kind of pop this on for a second. Oh, that's looking nice. Whoops, hold on, the side one fell off on me. There we go. Just gonna hold them on. So yeah, we can kind of look in there. Yeah, it's looking pretty chunky. McQuarrie, what is this? I think one of my next projects will be the 1/35th scale 3D print of the Mad Cat. Yeah, Mad Cat's a MechWarrior. I recognize that. Online files are available from Game Body. Nice. MechWarrior Online Battletech. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I've been a huge fan of Macross and Battletech and those. They copied a lot of the designs, and they really got in some copyright trouble for a little bit there because of how close the designs were to the Robotech stuff that, of course, that Harmony Gold had stolen from Macross and all that stuff. So, but yeah, I like the Battletech designs. In fact, some of the miniatures were really cool. I've got a few of them still that they were made out of pewter before they started making everything in plastic. Very cool, looking much better. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I've got to take a little bit more on this secondary hole, but as far as the chunkiness there, that looks like a good kill shot. If you're looking right down that hole, I'm going to take out a little more in the front. You can kind of see most of the cavity there is in the back, but there's still more in the front. So I'm going to take a little more material off this edge here. Most of this looks pretty good as it is. Let's see if that or how that stick goes through. Now that I've taken even more out, it should be able to go right through. Let's see here. Yeah, this goes. Whoop. It's kind of hard to hold everything down all at once. Where's that? There we go. Yeah. Straight line. I see there is a large-scale Macross Tomahawk available from HLJ Japan. Really? Who's the manufacturer? Because I just finished a Tomahawk that was 1/48 scale from it was resin from Moscato Hobby Models. Yeah, look at that. That's looking so sweet. When I initially started doing this, I never really planned on it actually having a straight shot. I mean, I know I kind of wanted to make it look like it'd gone through, but to actually physically put this in, and it actually fits pretty tightly because it's not perfect. So there's a little bit of between the layers, there's a little bit of tension there. But the way it comes out, the direction it's coming out, it looks like it blew out the back. I mean, that's exactly what I was hoping for. I'd be curious to know who the manufacturer is on that Tomahawk you're talking about, because I think my passion with any kind of anime is much more Macross than it is Gundam, if I'm being honest. I mean, I do like Gundam, but Macross is what got me into Japanese animation all those years ago in the 80s. I mean, I was a kid of the 80s. So that's what hooked me into Japanese animation. So you'll have to send me a link or something. Otherwise, I'll just look for it after the show. But is it in the Macross section? Like if you search it on HobbyLink Japan? This is a perfect straight line right through the head. I mean, look at that. Straight through. Boom. Blowout. Hold on, but I got it. That's just one of my little stir sticks. I think those are from stir sticks are from GSI. One of those Mr. Hobby buys. A large scale Tomahawk. I'm really interested in what you're talking about there. And I can even bring if you guys want to see it. Oh, it's 160. Well, it's still not small. I mean, most of that stuff, especially Bandai, they were always 1/100 scale. They didn't make anything like Tomahawk stuff. They might have made 172, but 160 is still larger. But who's the manufacturer? Is it Bandai? Or someone else? Or is it Good Smile? It might be Good Smile, which is what do they call blah, 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 blah. I know Good Smile is what they go by, but it's oh gosh, I forgot his name now. It's the same company I bought the 120 scale Gerwak from. Yeah, I got the Tomahawk in the case. Massive kit. That was also a challenge because for the amount of money I paid for it, you'd think the resin molds would be better. I mean, Moscato makes some pretty cool stuff, but it required a ton of cleanup work. Arcadia, huh? Is it a toy then, or is it a model kit? It's probably a toy, an action figure. I don't. If it's from Arcadia, I doubt it's a model kit, but I could be wrong about that. That's still cool, but it's not something I'm going to be interested in. If it was a model kit, yeah, I might look into it. But from Arcadia, I think that sounds more like an action figure, a big scale action figure, which is probably what it is. It sounds like now that you're talking about it. I can keep that eye over there. Get much of this dust out. All right. Semi-toy, semi-model. Yeah, there's a little bit of assembly, but you're not going to be painting it. I think it's probably pre-painted. All right, I'm going to take off a little bit of material from this secondary exit just to kind of continue with the theme of the damage getting here. Hang on. Turn you off. Jump back on when I drop you. What the hell are you thinking? All right, so now I got that secondary hole right there. Oh, that's what this shows. Okay, so all it does is show the comments here on the side. I don't even know if you guys can really see that. Do you want me to take that off? I mean, I see what it does now. It just shows a little kind of a ghost comment section on the corner. If you guys don't mind that, I'll leave it there. If it's just in the way, then I'll take it off. Let's see. Fuzzy says, I am happy to send you my paid 3D print files from MadCat. Oh, Mach 2 Warhammer and Marauder. Oh, okay. I don't have a 3D printer, but I do have some friends that do own them that could possibly print them out for me. I'm actually looking into, there's another company. Let's see. Oh, let me see. What was it? I think it was. Oops, nope, wrong one. Sorry, hang on, guys. Here, there's another guy, a friend of mine, who. I thought I was doing it on. Oh, there it is. Okay, so he it's called Sculptor's Cult 3D
and it's they make Macross print files as well. Small, basically you can scale them up or scale them down. They're relatively cheap, 15-20 bucks or something like that for the file. But yeah, I was looking into it because he also had a like a small SDF1 over a miniature like city, which looked kind of cool to me. So I thought about trying to get someone to print that for me. But yeah, you operate only from your phone, so picture quality and things on the screen are okay with me. Okay, cool, nice. Good to know. This is something new that the StreamYard it's been on. I haven't been on in a while, so there's been some new features they've added, and so I'm just looking at trying out the new stuff a little at a time to see if it benefits me at all. And so this is the first time I've actually tried that, showing the comments on stage, whoever's on screen or whatever. So that hole looks pretty good too. It's a little bit off center. I need to move it over slightly, or just make the exit on the armor a little bit bigger, which I might do. Yeah, I kind of like the way that looks. The way it looks like something blew through the back here and just kind of comes out to the other side. It's looking nice and chunky. All right, I'm going to take a little more material off of here. I got to do the back side of it, I think, a little bit. Back inside. Kind of about right here. Should be able to now pull this out. There we go. There. Just blowing it out a little bit more. So now, I'm going to put the glass back in. Again, that helps line up all these layers. Put that back in. There. Everyone likes a good-looking hole. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Paid 50 New Zealand. I don't even know what the conversion is. I could look at the currency app, see what the conversion is on that. See, that's pretty good. Almost lined up. I need to take off a little more material at the top of this hole, but this sits on there. Come on, there we go. It's almost lined up. Cool. All right, I'm going to do a little more material there. All right, more noise, guys. Back down. He's back on. $30, huh? Ain't bad. A good file. And the biggest challenge is like getting someone that knows how to add supports properly to print it well, otherwise end up with failed prints here and there. But yeah, I think that looks good. It opened up this whole back section, so this hole kind of goes through. I don't know if you guys can see, if I can find a way to show you this. Let's see. So if this goes, and you can see it come out the front here. Cone of clock. What? 9 o'clock. Oh. Cone clock. Kind o'clock. Is it 9 o'clock for me now? Wait, New Zealand, what? Are they Eastern time then? Is it morning or afternoon or evening for you? That would mean you're just running on, if it's 9, that's actually not as late as I thought it was. Unless it's morning. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I might take up a little bit more on the bottom edge here. Maybe not. I don't know. I kind of like the way it looks. If I paint it in a light enough color, it's going to really be easy to see down in there. I want to be able to see that damage. Yeah, maybe putting a wire or two or something else like this hanging out. Let's see if I can do that. Piece up there like that. Something's sticking out of that hole. That's probably too thick. Yeah, I'll have to make a wire. I've got some regular piece, little scrap pieces of my actual black and red. The wire I use for LEDs, I could use that. A couple of pieces of it. Naughty me. What do you mean, naughty you? 9 o'clock. What is that? Again, is it morning or evening for you? So you're actually running ahead of Eastern time here in the U.S. because right now it's 10 o'clock on the East Coast. After 10, I should say. All right. Sorry, it's drug related. Oh, gotcha. Never mind. Now I understand. By all means. All right. So I've got quite a bit of damage done tonight, which I'm happy with. Since it's been a while since I've really done anything on this kit. The last episode was with Brian, and we just, most of the time was spent just kind of shooting the shit, so it didn't get a whole lot done then. Got a lot more done now. Just trying to decide if I could use magnet wire too. I have several grades of magnet wire that I could use. Oh, 2 a.m. on a Thursday afternoon. Wow. Or 2 p.m. on a Thursday afternoon. So you're almost a half a day ahead of us then. Crazy. Yeah, because it's Wednesday night for us. For me, it's 7:10 p.m. on a Wednesday. That's cool. I appreciate you joining in from wherever you can. It's always nice to have some international guys. It's pretty cool. I like it. So let's see here. I had the idea to have this nose piece kind of popped up a little bit. Let me see if this is going to work. Let me put the glass back in. That shit. Do it in order. Glass goes in first. All right. Then this piece. Well, actually, side pieces. So I wanted to make this too. Like if you have a piece of armor like this hit the ground at high speed, panels are going to get deformed and misaligned. So I thought about popping up the edge, like that. It's kind of make like this. If this was the hood of a car, kind of instead of having it fully down in place, kind of just pop it up so it looks like it's not aligned. Let's see if I can work that out. Because I still have to, I'm going to have to damage this too, because you can see where I started to damage the side panel. Let me get a pointer here. Use a toothpick. So I started to damage this side panel. You can see where it went in through the glass. So there's going to have to be some damage to this piece as well here. And then also this cross piece, which is this one that goes up. Let me just put the top on here. So that sits like that. This, I believe, go that way, or does it go the other way? Nope. I mean, these either fit or they don't. It's weird that you can fight with them all day long. So now you see how this is going to go. So I've got this window blown out. This is where my entrance is. So I've got to damage this hood piece as well. Is going to take a chunk out there. The heart button on the bottom of the chat covered up part of my comment. I thought you said Nigel. Nigel Smith. Did I miss something? Oh, you looked at my channel. Oh, okay. I missed this one. This is what I missed. Sorry, guys. I try to keep an eye on everything, but your real name is out there. Yeah, we'll just call you Fuzzy. That works out. Nigel Smith. Oh, okay. Is that your name then, Nigel? Cool. I'm known as Michael. You can call me Creepy Uncle Mike, whichever you want. Gundamonium works. It's obviously the online handle. But Nigel. Nice to meet you, Nigel. Great to have you on the show, as always, anytime. So let's see. Let's see how accurate this is. Now that I have this hole running through the top here, let's see if I can get it to come out the other side. And I just lost my... The heck happened? Everything was lined up. Oh, there it is. So if this goes in, there we go. Come on, there we go. So that goes in like that. Again, that's a pretty tight fit. So yeah, I don't think that's going to go. This is going to be able to sit there. I think this is going to. Let me get my tweezers. Where are you? I haven't used them in a while. Here we are. So yeah, there's going to be, you can see now that there has to be, this doesn't even fit right. So there's going to be some damage to this crossbar, a little bit to the hood section here, everything that's blown out, straight out the back. All right. Oh, cool. Get some new subscriptions. I appreciate that. Let's spread the word, That's what we do. Help each other out. Tell your friends. Like and subscribe. Get these guys some attention and appreciation, because that's what the community does. We stick together and we help each other out. So if I do, I might pop this up a little bit, like I was saying, and then it'll look like it's misaligned just from dropping, just from hitting the ground. And this thing gets shot and then falls off and hits the ground. There's going to be some damage from it, the impact damage. So that's another reason why I would have a little bit of that misalignment. Now, obviously, there's still a nose section here. I've got to decide what's going to be exposed and not. But I will do some more damage to this side piece as well as this hood piece here, or I'm calling it the hood piece, but it goes over the front of the nose. And then that cross piece on that window frame, I have to do that too. Just a playlist, huh? It's all good. Most people don't even have that, so. All right. Let's see, I guess I can start doing a little more damage to this. So this goes in. So. I wonder, I could actually probably glue that in place. I wonder if that would be a good idea. I don't see why not. Because once I glue it, I won't have to deal with this thing flopping around, and then I can trim this as a single piece. It's a good idea. Let me do that on both sides. So this one, then of course, if I need to, I can. Oh, nope, had it right first time. Again, these fit together precisely. If they're not there, they won't work. All right, let me get my cement on here. I'm tired of fidgeting with these little window frames, so I'm just going to glue these together. That way, it'll be one solid piece, and I can do any trimming I need to do without worrying about it. As a piece, a single piece, rather than trying to keep flopping around. The same on this side. Good there. Make sure that's straight. All right. And of course, one last test fit here. Make sure this is still lined up. Yep. Looks good. Make sure the other sides fit. Just makes it easier when manipulating these pieces if they're not flopping around separately. Yep, there we go. So that will fit nicely down when I glue that down tight. Should be good to go. All right. Okay, where were we? Oh yeah. I'm doing some damage, but now that I glued this, I'm probably going to have to leave it alone, because otherwise it's going to fly off. Let's see. Doing a couple of tests where, let's see. Paint the edge glass clear green. Keep the clear plastic looks like glass. Cool. I like that. Experiments with simulating glass or perspex in styrene plastic. Oh, cool. Yeah, that'd be interesting to see. Hopefully you can start putting some of that stuff up on your channel. You know? Edge of the glass, clear green. Edge of the glass. Oh, you're talking about, like, I see what you're saying. So let me get this straight. Let me pull this off. Let's see if I understand you correctly. Okay, so you're talking about taking clear green and painting the edges of my, like around the edge of this, the top, the bottom, but then the edges of the glass, the broken shards. Is that what I'm gathering from what you're saying? Because that's a really great idea. Because, yeah, right now it just looks like clear plastic. 100%. All right, good. Gotcha. That's a great idea because the edges would have, you know, especially a laminate type of glass would have some kind of a color to it, you know, on a broken edge or something like that, not just clear breaks. It's a great idea, and that's easy to hand paint. You can do that all day long. But I have got the runner here. I could practice on this, maybe this flat piece of runner, just to see, because I still have all the expended shell casings. I got to take off the runner, paint those as well. Okay, well, we're getting down there. I might actually round this live stream out here. So now we've got a workbench is still a disaster. Kind of got an area to work here. Everything's kind of as it goes, it gets gathered closer and closer to my workspace until I finally finish a project, and then I just clean everything up and start over and do it all over again. So I still have the figures to paint later on. The head is the primary focus right now, the Zaku head. Again, for those that don't know, this is from the Rambarel Commando set, 1/35th scale. So it matches the main battle tank scale perfectly. I was thinking about using an Exceed head originally as, you know, a possibility, but they're a little bit smaller. They don't quite fit the scale like this. So decided to do that. Laminated armor glass has a distinctive green. You're correct. I've worked in the auto industry for a while, and we've had a couple of cars that come in for service that they were armored, and they had bulletproof glass installed in the doors and stuff like that. And it does have a very distinct color to it. A whole piece of glass, a bit easier to simulate. Coat of clear green, yeah. And then, again, that's something I easily paint on. I'm gonna put that on. Wow, that was weird. Did I just lose everything? What happened? It's like everything's taking. Okay, that was weird. Everything took a second there to jump. That was bizarre. Very much looking forward to the figure paint, huh? Starting the figures when the idea of the Zaku head came about. So, can you guys still hear me? Okay, everything okay? Or is there some lag going on? Because as I'm clicking on the screen here, it's taking half a second for these. Wow, that was buffering. Okay, yeah.
That's what I just experienced too. Crazy. Well, maybe it's time to call it a night. That was weird. It's still kind of taking its sweet time, isn't it? Well, I guess we'll go up to the face here, and you guys can look at my mug for a minute. Audio's cutting out. Well, yeah, something's going on. Got a little bit of lag. So I guess we're going to, we'll call this one a night. Let me turn this thing off so I don't see those on screen anymore. All right, boys and girls, thank you so much for joining in tonight. I appreciate each and every one of you. You guys have supported me all this time and waited patiently for me to come back. I'm going to go back to the front of the list here. We had Julius. He was in at 4:44, full hour and 15 minutes before the stream started, chiming in. Had Nick shortly after that. Then we started the stream. We had Fuzzy come in, and let's see who else. Anybody else? Oh yeah, we had one or two more, right? Oh, Fish Forever. He jumped in at a little after about 6:20 in the afternoon. Good to see him too. First time I think in the stream. Appreciate you. And my wife popped in a little bit after that. And let's see. I don't think. Oh, and then Ken. Of course, we had Ken. He dropped in at 6. It's almost 6:40. So appreciate the support. I think that was everybody that was chatting in the live stream tonight. Let's see. I'm going to go down to the bottom here. Make sure we catch up to y'all soon, peeps. Yes, thank you, Fuzzy. Thanks for coming in. Always good to see you. Dropping in from New Zealand. Julius, good night. Nick, if you're still here, good night, my friend. And we'll see you next week. There will be a live stream. I'm going to be on a regular schedule then every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific time here in the U.S. Hopefully, we see all you guys soon. So, with that, thanks again for joining in, and catch you all in the next one.